You have tried to quit many times. You've read all the articles, watched the videos, even joined the support groups. But what if the real issue you're dealing with is not what you think it is? What if you're not addicted to porn, but to the guilt, to the shame that follows it? Yes, my brother, you heard that right. What you're about to watch might be fucking challenging to hear. But as Joseph Campbell so beautifully said, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasures you seek. My name is Danny Banchev. I'm the founder of the Off Porn Academy, and I was addicted to porn for 10 years. As it says in the title, I spent about 1,000 hours watching it. Today, I want to share with you the 5 lessons that allowed me to finally go for years without porn, months without even masturbating, and even weeks without ejaculating whatsoever. Before diving into the 5 lessons, there are some stuff you really need to understand. As I said in the intro, it might sound counterintuitive, but guilt can become a very familiar and even comfortable emotion. Our brains are wired to seek the predictable, the known. It's literally a survival mechanism deeply rooted in our evolutionary past. If you look at your ancestors, the unknown represented massive danger. You never know what could happen. A freaking tiger could jump out of anywhere where the unknown is. On the other side, the familiar, even if it's painful, at least it's safe. At least you know there won't be any tigers jumping out of nowhere. So in the context of compulsive behaviors like porn, for example, the feeling you experience after becomes a known experience. It becomes a predictable experience. As painful as it is, at least your brain kind of knows what to expect, and in a very perverse way finds comfort in it. If some of y'all don't agree with me, think about relationships. Why do some people stay in relationships that fucking suck, like some toxic shit, for so long, even if they know they deserve better? It's because that relationship represents comfort. Why do some people come back to their exes? Because that's comfort. That's the known. Why do people settle for 9-to-5 jobs they don't like instead of going into entrepreneurship or following their dreams? Because at least they know they'll be okay. Now keep that in mind. We're gonna get back to it a little bit later. By the way, guys, we'll go right back to the video in a few seconds, but I've noticed that 90% of the people watching me are men. So if you're a man who's struggling with porn addiction and you're just tired of feeling like you're not in control of your own actions, then you can join the #1 porn addiction recovery brotherhood in the world. It's called the Off Porn Academy. We'll be right there waiting for you on the other side. The link is in the description. All right, right back to the video. There's a second part of that you need to understand. When you have an experience, your brain releases a cocktail of hormones: dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, like all that stuff you hear all the time. Now, some of them for sure can create feelings of satisfaction, pleasure, motivation, all the good stuff. Now, here's the plot twist. Your brain can literally get accustomed, aka comfortable with, the negative hormones, the ones that cause pain. Because think about it, if you consistently experience guilt, which comes with a bunch of hormones in the brain, right after experiencing an orgasm, which comes with incredible pleasure in the brain, your brain starts associating the two together. So the guilt becomes part of the experience. So now that we got something that is predictable, it's known, it has happened a lot of times, which means the brain is comfortable with, at least it's safe, and it's mixed with a bunch of pleasurable hormones in the brain, we got ourselves one hell of an offer. And what's the alternative? The unknown. What our brain hates the most. That's why, my friend, very often, even if you know it's gonna hurt, even if you fucking hate it and you're like, bro, why the fuck do I keep on coming back to it? Well, now you know that it's because in that moment, even if it's subconscious, your brain would much rather choose what it's already used to than to taking the risk of trying something new. So in those moments when urges come up, it's not even a choice between going for the pleasure or choosing abstinence. It's a choice between the known and the unknown. This is what you gotta understand. So with that in mind, here are the 5 lessons that finally set me free. #1, you gotta grab your balls and embrace the fact that you're addicted to guilt. You gotta realize the problem is not porn. It's never been porn. It's the emotions you experience from it. It's the hormones you experience from it. The pleasure you experience from it. It has nothing to do with porn. And sure, this makes you sound fucking stupid. Who would want to experience more shame? Well, welcome to the human game. We're complex beings. But on a real talk, bro, the awareness is always the first step. Progress cannot exist without a point A and a point B, right? So we gotta be honest about where we are right now if we want progress to happen. By the way, little hack, the key to awareness is to always remember that if you can observe something, if you can observe a thought, an emotion, a feeling, a pattern, it's not you. You are the one observing it. You are the awareness. You are the consciousness observing what's happening inside. Okay, step number 2. Now that you know your problem is the comfort you have around the emotions of shame, guilt, the familiar stuff, you gotta start embracing the unfamiliar. You gotta start embracing the unknown. How do you do that? You grab your phone and you schedule 10, 15 minutes per day where you literally just sit down with your own self. No distractions, no headphones, no nothing, just you and you, where you observe everything that happens inside you, all the thoughts, emotions, feelings that come and go from a place of radical and open curiosity. For example, you might start experiencing something weird when you do it first because it's the first time you do it, it's something unknown, right? So place your awareness on the feeling itself. Like, how does it physically feel? You don't need to label it. Your mind will try to label it, oh, this is that, whatever. That's irrelevant. Your mind will always talk shit in the back, okay? You can also observe that. But try to notice exactly how it feels. Where does it feel uncomfortable? Because guess what? The more comfortable you get with the darkest sides of you is the more confident you become. All right, step number 3, change your relationship with the urges. What do I mean by that? So many people, when they feel the urges, they're like, oh my God, it's the devil. Oh my God, it's some kind of dark force. Oh my God, I'm so wrong for feeling that stuff. How do you expect this to work? The reason you watch porn is because you're trying to escape some kind of uncomfortable emotion. So when you freaking label your urges as evil and oh my God, it creates this stress, this shame inside of you. And the more ashamed you are, the more likely you are to watch porn. That does not work. Plus, it's completely ridiculous because that sexual desire is also the reason you exist. It's how you were created. And yes, I am shouting at you because I want that to fucking be drilled into your brain. It's okay to feel urges. That's not the problem. Feeling an urge doesn't mean you already failed and oh shit, might as well jerk off or watch porn or whatever. An urge, aka a sexual feeling in your body, is just a signal from your body. That's it. Some call it sexual energy, some call it just an instinct. Whatever you want to call it, it's a signal from your body. What if instead of being a dark force outside of you, it's just your body calling for attention because it wants to remind you to be present? What if you're so caught up in your head and all your problems and you're thinking about the future and the past that your body's like, bro, chill, pause, take a look inside, what's going on here? Well, all this time you've been misinterpreting it as, shit, we gotta jerk off. Well, it's just your body telling you, hey, take a breath, chill a little bit, which I might need that message right now. All right, step number 4, you gotta break the self-fulfilling prophecy. Think about it. If you constantly say, oh my God, I'm addicted. Oh my God, it feels stronger than me. Oh, I'm fucked. Oh, I'll always be addicted. Why am I so weird or whatever? Don't you think you might, it's just a theory, be creating the addiction even more? You gotta remember that the self-image, your identity, is one of the most powerful forces in human nature. Our minds are goal-striving mechanisms, but we adapt our standards to who we believe we are. If you're not convinced about the power of it, check out multiple personality disorder. There are people who have multiple personalities, and when they change personalities, they kind of forget about the other one. It comes from trauma and all that stuff. You can read more about it yourself. But there are cases where a woman who was blind was able to get back her vision only in some of her personalities, which means that when she came back to her other personalities, she was blind again. This is the power of who we believe we are. By the way, brain scans were able to notice how parts of her brain responsible for vision were able to be activated only with some of her personalities. This is wild. Your personality creates your personal reality. So when you repeat, oh my God, I'm addicted, whatever, it does not help you. All right, bro, listen to me. Put your phone down or whatever device you're watching this on. Grab your hands, take a look at them. Move them right, left, up, down. You are in control of your hands. That thing you say you're so addicted to is a bunch of pixels on a screen. You have always been in control. You just tend to forget about it. That's it. Whether you watch it or not is your choice. It's not some external dark force or whatever. And since it's your choice, you're much better embracing and repeating the story that Bro, it's just fucking pixels on a screen. What the fuck do you mean addiction? That shit has no power over me. Keep on repeating that. Fucking embrace it. You're much better doing that than saying, oh, I'm addicted or whatever. And last but not least, number 5, you gotta address the root causes, brother. The Western world has always been so focused on dealing with the symptoms instead of focusing on the cause, on the root of it. Remember, porn is nothing more than a coping mechanism. It's a way for you to deal with uncomfortable emotions. And yes, that uncomfortable emotion could be a sexual urge that you don't know what to do with since you don't have the right information. Fundamentally, there's a reason why you watch porn. So what we got to do, instead of dealing with the symptoms and all these different strategies on how to, avoid urges or whatever, we got to deal with where they come from. Maybe it's a feeling of loneliness, of shame, you want attention. Maybe your life is so boring, you need some adventure, some uncertainty. Whatever it is, I cannot tell you, you can only know. So we got to dig inside of what's going on there. Why do you watch it? And then once it's done, guess what? We got to replace it with stuff that can actually sustain what you want on the long term. Because here's the thing, sure, porn might get you what you want in the moment, but you and I know that a few seconds later, you're like, oh my God, why did I do it? So it's a very effective tool on the short term, but then it creates even more suffering on the long term, and then it's a downward spiral. So we want to replace it with stuff that makes you feel good in the moment, but then it creates an upward spiral. Remember, brother, it's never about fighting a behavior. You are in control. It's not about a fight or whatever. It's about understanding why you do what you do, and sometimes, even deeply, truly understanding it can be enough. And sometimes all it takes is replacing it with other habits. But the understanding of why I do what I do is essential. It's a non-negotiable. So if you're a man who's struggling with that type of stuff and you're fucking tired of feeling like you're not in control of your own actions, then you can join us in the #1 brotherhood today, where we help men quit porn for good. It's called the Off Porn Academy. The link is in the description. We'll be right there waiting for you on the other side. But other than that, thank you all so much for listening. If you like the stuff I talk about, you can also subscribe. I'll be very grateful, but I'll be grateful for you anyways. So take care, and I'll see you here very soon. Bye-bye.